And I swear to God, if you choose that fucking show, I'm talking to Kevin Feige. If you choose that fucking show to introduce Kitty Pryde, if you make me sit through all of those fucking episodes on the slight chance that Kitty shows up, I will be mad.
Hello and welcome to Incomplete Geeks, a Gay Geek podcast. I am your host, John. I will ravage your ass. And over there is my second best friend who I'd go kill a god to save his life, Nick. Thank you for listening. Oh, no, I can't do that. I forgot the whole sort of intro thing.
That's okay.
This is the podcast where we talk about all sorts of geekdom. Sometimes we know a lot about it. Other times our thought processes and logic deductions are a little bit
incomplete.
That's right. So we try our best. But thank you for listening. This is episode 37, in which, if you haven't gathered from the intro, we are talking about the new film Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 that just came out less than a week ago. So,
spoilers ahead. Please go and see it. Very
much. Okay, that was my first question for you, actually, is are we going to say to people, go see it and then listen? Or are we going to say, if you don't want to see it, it's fine. If you want to get spoiled, listen up. I think they are anyway.
I think...
Go see it.
I mean, go see it if you want. I also think the MCU isn't what it used to be. I don't think it's this big, massive cultural movement because we're not moving towards Endgame. So I feel like if you want to watch it, you can watch it because it's a film.
Yes.
That's kind of it.
And you and I haven't talked about the film at all.
No, because you saw it like an hour ago.
Shall we say I saw it this morning? Nick saw it a few days ago.
Yeah.
So we haven't talked about it at all. So we do some non-spoilery things first. Like, did you like it?
Yeah, like the non-spoilery stuff, if you're thinking about seeing it. Yeah.
What is your overview of this film?
It's good. I'm wondering if I'm like tired of the MCU.
Okay.
I can't get that level of excitement back. And I really think it is just the post-Endgame was too much.
Right,
those two films were too much. And since then, it's like we're trying to recapture the magic of the build-up to those two films. You just can't. It's just not.
So you said that when you're talking about those two films, you mean
Infinity War.
And Infinity War.
Because since then, like, has anything made you feel anywhere near that level of like... Because I used to... Every single film I would watch usually twice, and if it's a really good one, 3 times.
Yeah.
So like, the Captain America ones, the obviously Infinity War, everything 3 times. Captain Marvel 3 times. All of those. Mm-hmm. I won't watch any of these.
Yeah.
A second time. I don't care.
I can't think of very many of the MCU films that I've seen more than once. Although I will say that I saw Endgame 3 times at the cinema.
Yeah.
Because each group of friends were like, oh, I really want to see this, and I had to pretend that I hadn't seen it already.
Well, they know now. You were lying. Yeah, and there's nothing. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. If it's just me and I'm obsessing over it, but I can't quite get on board with it. Okay. I think WandaVision did a really good job of like capturing some excitement. Mm-hmm. But even that, like, none of the films. God, that awful Doctor Strange film. Yeah. So. Yeah.
But you said it was good.
It is a good film, but it doesn't have... I don't know. I can't see a bigger purpose. Like, also, I'm super spoiled. Like, when the first Guardians came out, I'm like, ooh, it's kind of a comic book film. Now it's like, I've seen loads of you.
Yeah.
You're not interesting.
I think it's funny that you say that because I will go a little step further, and I am a bit sort of silly afterglow of the film itself. I thought it was very good.
Yep.
I won't say it was excellent because there's bits that don't really work, but I would say it was very good. And I totally get what you're saying about how we don't know the overarching story anymore. Like, we don't know what we're working towards as a big arc. But the thing is, like, are we right to expect that nowadays? Because like back before Thanos was a character, we were still enjoying those films.
Yeah, but it was always this this novelty, this
like the new character that you're
very tiny little, it was a new character or a new type of film, and each different thing was just a little bit closer towards perfect moments on screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we got that in those other two.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, now we're back to this film about this ragtag
space,
and I'm like,
hijack.
Okay, yeah, that's cute.
Well, the other thing I was going to say about that is I get what you're saying. I think that it's a very good point that we don't know some overarching, there's nothing new about it. So I think what this film did was kind of lent into the characters a bit more. And I thought it did that mostly well. There are a couple of hiccups that I didn't like, but I think for the majority of the film, it handled the characters really well. And I thought going into it, because I didn't really know what to expect, I tried not to spoil myself. I was like, I'm just going to watch it. I don't really know. I have some ideas about what I think is going to happen story-wise. And the story works for me. Like the story was like, okay, I get it. This happens. You have the characters make a decision to do something that makes sense.
Yeah.
Try not to be spoilery, but like you try to do something to sort of, I don't know. And then you understand all the characters and the motivations, except for one, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
And it mostly worked. And even in the end, when it becomes this big sort of bombastic, the sort of explosion showdown, I'm like, okay, well, I've seen this before, but I'm still kind of okay with it in a way. This is the reason it's not excellent is because it's like I've seen this explosion scene so many times before, and we're just sort of dragging it out now. And it did drag a little bit. It was 2.5 hours long, for fuck's sake. But in spite of all that, I'll also leave it a 3 to 3.5 out of 4 stars.
Oh, okay. I think if you enjoyed the other ones, you want to go to the cinema, go watch it.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't really enjoy the second one.
No, I remember thinking the second one was great at the time, but when we did the rewatch, watching the first one so close to the second one, you realize how good the first one was.
Yeah, definitely.
And the second one, it's like, more of the same.
Yeah.
You're like, oh. And now the third one is like, more of the same. But with a conclusion, and you're like, okay.
A bit of heart.
Let's put these characters away so he can go and run DC.
Well,
so it's definitely definitely worth seeing. It's so much better than Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, like, miles.
Just go. It's fine. It's good. You'll enjoy it way more because it's a good film. But
it is a good film. And when you say about James Gunn leaving to go handle DC, like I had that in the back of my mind, but nothing in the film actually sort of made it sort of the forefront. It's like, hey, this is my last film. We're going to have big drastic changes and everything. Like,
no, it was just making sure his characters were wrapped up and his story was done.
I feel like they all had a sense of conclusion, considering the last 3 films that they were in, plus
all the
others,
Avengers
films. Yeah.
So
there you go.
Go and see it. But
see it.
But also,
if you don't want to,
it'll be out on Disney Plus in like a month.
I know. Actually, yeah, a month. Because didn't like Ant-Man and the Wasp took like 2 weeks because it was such a shit show at the cinema that they just released it really, really quickly on Disney
I don't know.
Plus.
And with the writer's strike, they might be desperate for more stuff, so maybe they'll put it on sooner.
Although I will be surprised because the last time there was a writer's strike, it was 2007, 2008, which I would know because
Lost.
Because of Lost, yeah. Writer's strike, and then it takes like a few weeks for things to dry up on screen, basically.
It's the quicker turnaround stuff. So the live shows, the live late night stuff's already
late night stuff
tanked.
The day of the strike, it stopped. I hope they reach a
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that people are making money off other people's work because it's like, oh, it's streaming, you don't get paid for that. Like, guys, shut up, shut the fuck up, up.
I'm not an expert, but I think what I hear is the biggest biggest complaint they have is like producers of TV shows are trying to make it into a gig economy for writers.
Yeah, that too.
Which is totally not.
It's
a piss take for artists of all sorts because
you're gonna get shit writers. Like, there's a couple of things about it. Just having seen what other writers explain. No, and they're like, some of the people were saying, they're turning it into an economy that you can only get into if you live with your parents and you can get supported,
exactly.
like rather than getting a job, like doing pitches and getting residuals, so that keeps you going until you can work on that sort of stuff. Yeah. And in an age when we have more television than ever, you do not want to be making it harder to get good writers.
Exactly.
Like,
we see a lot of shit.
No, we're going to become reality TV and that's it.
Wait, did they write Secret Invasion yet? Is it all written?
Yes, it's done.
Oh my God.
I think they said the first one that's affected is Blade in the run-up. It's the one that's not been finished writing yet. Which I don't know where that's supposed to land, but...
Bit of a sidetrack, but
no, relevant. I think it's relevant. Yeah. Let's go on to spoilers then.
Spoiler alert!
Spoilers!
Here, we're not talking about spoilery stuff. So, should we get like a little music intro? Like, spoilers. I don't know.
Okay.
I just want one.
We'll try and figure out.
Where did we start? No one died.
I mean, no one died in the chronology of the film. They most certainly died in the flashbacks.
Oh, okay. None of the main characters died.
Yes.
I was expecting Rocket to die. I
was hoping Peter would die.
I was hoping that when he jumps out into the space and he's just face freezes up. I'm like, oh, is this how he goes?
They made him ugly, so I was like, oh, maybe they will kill him off. But this is a very unceremonious end.
It was, yeah. I thought it was weird, and I was like, oh, okay, is this it?
Oh, and they kept him going.
Can I make a note as well? A geeky science note. If you're suddenly jettisoned into space, you will not freeze.
Yeah, I think I knew why.
You don't freeze. You suffocate.
Of course,
because there's no air.
Yes,
and the reason you don't freeze is because in order for your body to be cold, the heat has to go somewhere, and in a vacuum, there's nowhere for the heat to go. So the way you die in outer space is you suffocate because there's no fucking air to breathe. And also, your blood does kind of boil, but it's not like.
Would it pull the air out of your lungs because it's trying to go in, fill a vacuum? Is that the kind of thing?
Yes, but the pressure isn't so great that you can't hold it. They do say that if you take a deep breath and go into outer space, that's bad because then it will sort of, as soon as you open up that aperture that rushes out, which is bad for your lungs, obviously, because then it will pull everything else out. So you should exhale and then go into outer space. This is what the experts say. So yes, anyway, technically you don't freeze, but it's ubiquitous in sci-fi. So anyway, he didn't die. Drax didn't die. I thought he could have easily had him.
He didn't do that much. I don't think he was given his usual funniness.
I didn't mind that. Okay, so
I'm determined to say good stuff because it's so easy for me to say bad stuff. I love the fact that Manta seems to be kind of prominent in this one.
Mm-hmm.
She seems to be even more well-rounded as a character. She led a lot of it, and I think that's great. And I think she has potential and potentially being spun off.
Yeah.
Which I saw a comic book nerd talk about the potential importance of that.
Because of her character in the comics.
Yeah. That she's an important character when it comes to Kang.
Okay.
Which I had no idea because like a lot of Kang's big stories would have happened in like that weird kind of 70s, 80s kind of time. And if it's like it wasn't X-Men, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because it was
it
was bad. Okay. Badly written. If it's not Chris Claremont, those old ones were kind of shit. So again, this is where me talking shit because I watched a TikTok this morning and now I can't remember it. As I remember it being described, like there were a few characters that Kang was looking to find something Madonna. So some sort of
Madonna.
No, chill out. Some sort of something Madonna. Like an important character that he needed to find in order to something, blah, blah, blah.
No idea.
Agatha Harkness, Wanda Maximoff, and Mantis were the three that he was checking out. And it turned out to be Mantis. So like,
yeah. Well, what about?
I don't know, like something important to like make the universe, you know what I mean? Like, like finding that important character that's something thingy. I could Google it if you want to pause.
Well, no, because I don't want to.
No, have a Google. So anyway, like that would be interesting if it turns out that Mantis is actually used more. I think she's a really cute, cool, interesting character. She's kicking ass in this one again.
Yeah,
like in fights as well and that sort of stuff.
She got some training between between Endgame and this one.
I like how she's evolving in each one, and then at the end, spoiler, she leaves to go off and do her own thing, which could be cool. I think that'd be interesting. I think she has the depth to do more interesting stuff.
Yeah,
but that's me because I just love her interesting, complex, strong female chick with psychic powers.
And the thing is, like, when she's introduced in Volume 2, she's kind of one note.
Oh, yeah.
And I was surprised to learn that she, at the end of that film, she kind of had joined the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, oh, what? She's like a minor. Who is this person anyway? But she does sort of play she has a role in Infinity War as well.
She's one of the most helpful ones in that fight.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh, actually using her powers in a clever way, which I love.
I like that when someone's like not assumed to be super powerful or helpful.
Yeah.
And they get more and more, and you're like, oh, like Willow from, like, oh, she's the useless friend. It's like, she's actually, wait a minute. She's the most powerful?
Wait, we need more than people who can punch things?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So that's
I do like that. Yes.
That's a cool thing. I'm interested to see what happens with that.
Her and Drax's relationship as well could have gotten really stale really quickly. I'm remembering back to the Christmas special, which I did eventually watch, which I am sad that I did because it was so boring.
Awful. Oh.
It was trite, and it was eye-gougingly mindless.
It didn't need to be that.
It didn't need to exist.
No. Although also weird, I feel like it must be important later on, but why did they make them brother and sister? That was so kind of pointless.
I don't know.
And he referenced it at the beginning, and then nothing. Doesn't matter. Anyway, that's a negative, so let's not concentrate on that.
We can say that, but we have to justify the negatives.
I want to start with the positives because I'm always doing negatives. Because if I start, I'll never stop.
Let's organize this talk by character, because I think one of the good things, like I said, the characters are
very fully formed,
dug into, and they're fully formed, and
very
places to go. So that's Mantis. I like where she's going.
Yes.
She's doing more.
Props for Mantis.
She has more of a character than we've seen before, and she's actually useful. So good for her. Good for the actor, because I have no idea who she is.
Pom Clementine.
Don't know what she's done. But also, let's move on to Drax as well, because we all know that Drax is, Dave Bautista is finding it difficult to stay fit, which is why he's always wearing tops now. Did you hear about that?
No.
He basically was like, listen, guys, I can't. I'm like, I shouldn't say. I'm getting older, and I'm finding it really hard to sort of have this body, because I used to be a wrestler. It
was a long time ago.
And so he's no longer being filmed with his shirt off.
That's fair enough.
So okay, fine. In terms of his sort of special, unique ability, his USP in the Guardians, like, he just kills things, and that was kind of turned on its head in an interesting way. I thought that his whole sort of raison d'etre, his reason for existing, is to get back at Thanos. Well, Thanos is dead now, so
yeah.
So they gave him something new to do, and that's fine.
And that was that's quite a good journey. His arc that he wants to be a father again, and that's what.
Yeah,
I like the line that she said. It's like, you weren't born to be a destroyer; you were born to be a dad.
Yeah,
it's like, that's cute, because the whole reason he's a destroyer is because he lost his family.
Exactly.
So that's cute. Point, yeah. I think that was very cute, and I can't stand children. I hate when children are in films. I hate when children are the emotional crux point, when they're like, we've got to save the child. It's like, do we though?
Not even a child, a group of children.
A swathe of children.
A swathe of children.
But I didn't find these ones annoying, maybe because they couldn't speak English.
Yes.
So that helped me.
They were less prominent.
Yeah.
They didn't show up till like half an hour.
Because we don't pretend to give a shit about their journey. It's like, save them. We probably should save several hundred children. I think we can all agree. We probably should.
Yeah, probably. Especially if they're like gonna be stuck on this ship in this week.
Whatever. So yeah, Drax.
Drax, yes.
Okay, good journey.
Children, on a brief sort of touch on the children. Like, I thought about the children from Love and Thunder, and how there's like 20 of them maybe, and like they were just.
If that, like the ones that were
that were kidnapped, taken away, and I cared less about them than I did about these children here.
They talked and they were trying to be interesting. It's like, piss off, I don't care.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, the children, because then they say children stuff, and you're like, oh, you're so stupid.
And the children all got powers, yay!
Oh no,
coming together.
Bleh. No, I don't care.
Who is that child at the mid-credits scene? There's like one child that was like singled out, and
I don't know
who's that. She had like a purple eye. I noticed. And then as she was like, the last shot as Captain Rocket, whatever, and they're like, and you've got the other characters who are left, and she's got some like glowy hands power. Where does that come from?
I'm going to Google it.
You Google it, I shall talk. Who's our next character that we should talk about?
Nebula.
Let's continue on positive character. Nebula. Nebula's had a journey as well, because obviously, so her
massive journey. Yeah, 'cause in the first one, she was the bad guy.
She was the bad guy, yeah, and she was growth. I love her arm upgrade, which she sort of says, "Oh yeah, because of rockets, help me with this tech, whatever." So she's totally like part of the team now, and I can tell that she's loving it. Like she is still sort of like cold emotionally, but it works as her character because you don't want to lose that of her. But the way that she reacts to was it Rocket's voice?
When she hears he's alive.
Yeah, hears that he's alive. And she was like struck by it. And even Mantis notices as well. I was like, that's a really good moment. Good for you. So yeah, she's also another kick-ass badass female character who sort of doesn't she does a bit too much shouting, and I think that kind of draws away from the comedy of it when she's like, let's get back to work, get back to business. And I'm like, that's just a shitty written line. Like no character should ever say, stop messing around, because it doesn't feel natural. That's the bits of forced comedy that I don't like, but whatever. I can let that slide in terms of story.
Will you let it slide?
I will let it slide in terms yes. I shall deem it acceptable. Yeah, and they're really going to town, like, her unique ability as well, her powers, whatever. She's basically built. She's like Theseus' ship, completely rebuilt, basically. Like, who is she? She doesn't really have an identity sort of thing anymore, but she's able to use her powers for a good cause. And her relationship with her sister as well is interesting because they used to be sort of flip-flop, where wasn't it Gamora trying to convince Nebula that she was a good person and try to not be such a dick? And now it's Nebula trying to convince Gamora not to be such a dick. And it's turned back around. Do you think? Yes.
The credits identified the girl as Phyla, an apparent nod to the comics character Phyla Vell. In Marvel Comics, Phyla Vell is a powerful heroine, the daughter of legendary Kree warrior Mar-Vell, gone by various names, including Captain Marvel and Quasar, but best known as member of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, really?
That's cute.
Member of what, sorry?
Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy. A member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So I wonder if she'll be in the Marvels? Possibly. I don't...
She's just kind of thrown in there at the end.
I don't know her in the comics, so I don't know if she's actually important. But...
Okay, well then she's
a Kree.
She's a Kree. She's more of an Easter egg than a...
Maybe she's like, there you go. I don't know.
One of the children who survived and is now...
Maybe she wasn't one of them because she speaks English and she's Kree. So maybe she's just a completely different character.
Well, she could be, I suppose. But she's got the lines in her mouth that match the other kids.
Oh, you paid more attention than I did.
I watch films. I don't just see them.
I really needed the loo at that point. I'm like, just finish. So, Nebula. I don't care for Nebula's portrayal. Like, I find it a very affected way. The way of speaking just takes me out of it all the time. I find that often when British actors do American accents, and they're very heavy-handed ones.
Right.
So she just doesn't seem like a character I can kind of like...
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'm trying to... I don't know what I mean. Like, she doesn't... I don't emote to her very well because she just seems really stylized and thingy.
I definitely feel like she was more like that in the previous films. I think she's become a bit softer in this one, at least.
I'm so glad they didn't try and force a romantic relationship between her and Star-Lord. Because it did seem like they were going to.
There was that one trailer.
When Gamora was like, it sounds more like her. And then they had that awkward moment where he complimented her eyes. I was like, please fucking God, do not do this. That is so gross. Just fuck off.
I kind of feel like there's that moment, and there's another one. I think it was when they were in the suits and he pushed the button to think that he's talking to Gamora, and then it turns out he's talking to everybody.
Yeah.
the blue button is for everybody, you know.
Which was funny, but I feel like we could all see it coming.
Well, I could, because I saw that on a fucking trailer.
No. Was it in a trailer?
It was either in a trailer or like
That's
some
like a
interview.
funny bit, but
Yeah.
that's so very Guardians. You could see that coming a mile away. It's like he's absolutely talking to everyone.
Yeah.
But they're like, the green is for blue is for everyone. That's funny. That's very Tim Gunn.
I thought it was right. I feel like the best comedy bits were kind of taken from me because they did feature in the trailers.
So annoying.
But then a couple of ones were the ones that were sort of, I don't know. I'm a bit of two minds because the ones that were, it's like they're just bantering, like, oh, you're such a jerk, whatever, and like, no, you're such a jerk. Or like, turns to the gun, like, no, put the gun back on that person. Like, it's all sort of like brother sister kind of rivalry, childish kind of thing, which is very Guardians, I think. But I wonder if there's a line that's crossed where it's like, I've seen this before, I know what it is. It's shtick. There's a line between like actual genuine sort of characterizations being truthful and then shtick. And I think it ventured into shtick a little bit. But
have you watched Peacemaker?
No.
Which is good.
Is it very shticky?
It's exactly what you just
described. Is it James Gunn?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which you just described.
Yeah.
It's that. Which is funny.
Yeah.
But when you see it,
does it get
for
old?
10 episodes, you're like, and 3 Guardians films. That's why when I'm like, when they're like, he's going to be in charge of DC, it's like, he's
James Gunn DC.
So when you watch all of Peacemaker and you watch all these films, like, they are very funny, but it is the same formula.
Yeah.
Every time. That's why him being in charge of every single DC film, I don't think he has the range to do that. He is, unlike Feige, who's a producer, he is a writer-director with a distinctive style and distinctive voice.
Yeah.
Who will he want to try and make every DC film Peacemaker and Guardians of the Galaxy?
I wonder. But he's not going to be directing every film.
No, but he is
can have a big
creatively in control of all of them. It's like, no, let's put a fart joke in here. Maybe. I don't know. He's writing Superman. I'm like, woof, that's a different approach. Anyway, this is not a DC episode. Nebula,
done. Star-Lord.
Okay.
I will say that I really appreciate how Star-Lord was not the center of this film.
Yeah.
You can't remove him as a character.
Nope. However,
he has stuff to do. He has his moments.
Yeah.
For his character development.
The post-credit scene.
Yeah, what's up with that? I didn't get it.
I've long been saying, like, I wonder what the first Marvel project is that I'm not going to watch. Because eventually there will be one that I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, skip it.
If it's a film or a TV show, like The Legendary Star-Lord, it's going to be that one I skip.
Well, like a TV show or a movie about him only?
The Legendary Star-Lord. That's a run of comics called The Legendary Star-Lord.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I said The Legendary Star-Lord will return.
And it's never said that before?
No, he's never been individually singled out. The Guardians will return.
Right.
And he was specifically called The Legendary Star-Lord.
Okay.
Which is the run of his solo adventures of him on Earth with his grandfather. It's like, well, it's...
Really?
Yeah, all of that.
Oh, that's really heavy-handed. Okay.
So, if it is a solo series, probably more likely a series than a film about Star-Lord, that will be the one I don't watch. And I swear to God, if you choose that fucking show, I'm talking to Kevin Feige. If you choose that fucking show to introduce Kitty Pryde, because that's who he was in a relationship with in the comics, if you make me sit through all of those fucking episodes on the slight chance that Kitty shows up, I will be mad.
It's a heavy threat. I'm scared.
Very angry with you, sir.
I will be rather perturbed,
I will be riled. I'm steamed.
Good gentlemen, I shall be just forthwith
teed off at the thought of that. I don't think it will. I can't imagine them introducing X-Men in a Star-Lord spin-off.
Well, let's put it this way. X-Men have been sort of teased for a long time, and there's a plan for them. This is the first we've heard of like any sort of legendary Star-Lord in that frame, so I don't think it's happening anytime soon. So X-Men are going to happen before.
I don't think they will. I don't know. We can't talk about the X-Men because I'll get depressed.
The only thing I will say about that end credit scene is what the fuck were they talking about, first of all? And also the only interesting thing was the paper that the grandpa was reading. On the back of it said Kevin Feige.
Kevin Bacon.
Sorry, Kevin Bacon, alien abduction.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Cute. Whatever. And it was the same actor, right?
Talking about like some lawnmower. Were they referencing a second character, like his son?
His stepson, because he's married a black woman now.
Well, I didn't know that was his wife then. I didn't know.
Really. Well, he said stepson.
Oh, did he say stepson? I didn't catch that.
I think so.
Anyway.
Or his, like, her son, maybe like that.
Maybe. Who's going to be, whatever. I don't know. Whatever.
Anyway.
Star-Lord.
So, but yes, no, it's a good point. Like, he did a very good job of being like, look, I can't just not have him be in it, but not everything needs to be about him. It was not his journey. It was not his story.
Totally.
It was not that kind of arc. Very much it was Rocket's. With some of the others. Yeah. So I think they did that well.
I'm very glad that it wasn't about his alcoholism or whatever in the beginning. Like, he was drunk in the beginning.
Oh my God, yes. That would have been so fucking boring.
Yeah.
And they got over that really quickly. We'll get on to that with Gamora. Something really, like, I found very interesting in the production side of it. Have you seen the videos so you know the bit, I think it must have been when he was drunk, when Nebula is carrying him out because he's passed out?
Yeah, in the beginning, yeah. That
is a dummy. It's not a CGI or,
of Chris
lifted him in wires or anything like that.
Because I did notice that his belly was actually quite thin in that moment.
So, and like James Gunn was saying in interviews that he was saying he had it in his office for ages. Like, just this, he's like, what did you do with it? And I've seen, like, Marvel have posted when Karen was, like, practicing with it on set and carrying it around. It is terrifying how real that looks.
Really? Okay.
It breathes, like, so it was just like an unconscious Chris Pratt in that shape, just kind of fake breathing.
Yeah.
So that was fucking fascinating, weird and terrifying, but also gives me a huge amount of hope for how good our sex robots are going to be in like
well, because 10 they can
years.
Breathe.
Look, no, but it looks like him.
Mm-hmm. No.
They'll be able to 3D print like outer forms of your sex robot.
Yeah, but how much are they going to cost?
Yeah, but the price will come down because everyone will want one. And then it'll be like phone cases.
Everyone's going to make their own. Yeah.
Like, print it off. I mean, it's a shame the first one would be Chris Pratt, but...
Well, I mean, would you turn it down?
No, if I get it, it's free. I'm not going to spend several thousand on it. Like, he's a douche, but if it's a robot version of him, that's fine. I can make use of that. That's fine.
A robot, yeah.
Yeah. That's incredible. In 20,
excited.
30 years, when I'm shriveled and old and shouldn't be trying to hook up with hot young ones, I just turn to my sex robot.
Just get your sex robot, yeah.
Put a new printout case on my sex robot.
A new phone case. The Chris Pratt robot will not grow old, whereas Chris Pratt will grow old.
Yeah, here it is. So that's what I take away most from Chris's performance is the glimmer of hope of how good our sex robots will be in 20 or 30 years. That's the best thing
you got of him, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have nothing else to add to that, I suppose. The grandpa, who is the same actor, by the way, as the first one, obviously aged, I think aged with makeup or whatever. Because it was a long time. Also aged, yeah. Well, they all aged.
2014. Oh my God, was it 10 years ago?
I don't know.
2013, 2014 when Guardians
just had it out.
Came out?
It was 2014.
Yeah, really. So 9 years ago.
The grandpa, who's referenced like more than once, maybe more than twice, like look at this photograph here of you and your family. I'm like, okay, fine, I get it. The grandpa's going to show up at the end. Oh,
that's what why did Gamora's like, oh, is this you? It felt like a photo.
Like, why would you? Yeah, that was
who
a weird
cares?
Like,
and why would you give it to him in that point? Anyway, we're going negative. No,
all the stuff that she was going through his backpack, right?
Yeah,
like, all of his stuff. Why would she single out this photograph and give it to him? Weird story bit, anyway. Yeah, Star-Lord has the thing is like they gave Chris Pratt a motivation. Like, okay, you're sad about Gamora and you care a lot about your best friend Raccoon. Just play that.
It's fine.
And it was fine. He was good.
And he got to be the first person to ever say fuck in the MCU.
Oh, did he? I totally missed it.
Open the fucking door! That's the
Oh.
first fuck ever in the MCU.
Did not hear. What part? When was that?
When they're on alternate Earth. What's it called?
Counter Earth.
Counter Earth. And they're getting in the car to drive, and Nebula can't open the door.
Oh, really?
He's like, push it down. Open the fucking door! Which worked really well.
Such a dumb moment. That's a comedy that I thought that was good.
Yeah. And
we haven't seen that bit.
So I've seen lots of interviews, and like it's a big deal. And because of the rating, you know, you can have a certain number of swear words, and I think you can have like 3 shits or a fuck, that kind of whatever to keep it PG-13.
What's our shit to fuck ratio?
I think you can have more shits than fucks. I think you could only have 1 fuck.
But if you have any shits, then you can't have any fucks. Is that what you're saying? Like
no,
you have 3 shits.
You can have more shits.
Right.
I don't know, because they definitely had 1 or 2 shits and 1 fuck. So I don't know what the ratio.
Film.
Yes.
Where's the shit?
I don't know, but I'm sure they said it.
Fine.
Because I remember thinking it's like
totally breezed past me. Yeah.
So when they were doing it was an ad lib, or like he told Chris like try it and that sort of stuff when they were doing it, and it ended up in the final cut, and Feige was like, you can have it, but do you really want to be known as like, this is your last one? It's like, do you really want to be known as introducing fuck? He's like, absolutely. It's 100% what I want. So it's the first fuck, and I think it was very funny, but just random. Like this bit where they drive, just before they drive.
Yeah,
it made them very much like a family humor kind of vibe. Brother and sister vibe. Open the fucking door.
That's a moment. That's a comedy moment that works. Yeah.
I thought it was good. So well done. He gets to be the first guy who ever said fuck in the MCU.
Okay. Well,
congratulations. That's his legacy. And that's fine.
Goodbye now.
Yeah. We're done.
Okay.
No, Nothing gets his own show.
So,
who's next?
Who is next? Gamora. Let's talk about Gamora.
I really liked how they didn't bring her back to the Guardians.
Yeah.
I really loved that final scene where you saw her, actually this Gamora's family is the Ravagers.
Yeah.
Not the Guardians, because she's a different person.
Yeah.
And they're her friends and family, and she's really good at that. And she didn't have to go back. She didn't have to go back to Chris Pratt. She didn't have to go back to her sister, although she still kept in touch with her, that sort of thing. Yeah. I thought that was really good. It would have been really easy to just, I remember now, or whatever. I don't know.
I really hate when films do that, where it's like characters died. Oh no, they came back. Oh, never mind. Everything's back to the way it was before. Like, no, fuck you. It's different. I think that was done really well. I was aware of her potentially coming back to be part of the team, because there's a really good moment where it's like when Star-Lord is like, you think you're a Ravager, I'm a Ravager, you're not a Ravager. And I was like, yeah, good point. Yeah, because you've been like,
yeah, but he was, and he's not anymore.
He wasn't.
That's the point. He grew up that, and he left, and this is who he is now.
And now she's been there for like what, a year? You know,
the other Gamora was one of you.
Yes,
but that's not this one.
And there's a good moment as well that he says, he's like, she was looking for a family, and the family isn't them; it was with us. I'm like, that's a really good point. Like, good. But then I was like, but in spite of that, I'm glad that she doesn't stay with them, because even though she may have changed as a character within this film, she still has like the Ravagers welcome her back. Yeah. They love it. Yeah.
I loved it. Thought it was great. I love Zoe Saldana, and I love Gamora. She's a great character. I don't think she'll do anymore. I think she's done enough.
Do you think so? Yeah, she didn't have to anymore. I mean,
I think she needs to do another Marvel film after Marvel and Avatar. I think she's made enough money for the world.
Like, she's been green. She's been blue.
It's like the most successful of all time.
Wasn't she in Star Trek as well?
She was Uhura.
Oh, of course, yeah. I was like, was she an alien? Like, what other colors could she be? Just
black.
She's black in that one.
She's just.
She was in Star Trek, but like.
Oh yeah.
She didn't have to. And the thing is, like, if she doesn't appear in any more MCU films, like, that's okay. Like, I get her characters. Yeah. Her characters.
She was the star of Infinity War.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Her and Thanos' arc was the biggest one. She had more screen time than pretty much anyone. So.
Yeah.
Great. Good. Satisfying ending, I think. Like, dying was kind of a
The thing is,
one
like,
way to end it, but
because I hate people coming back from the dead so much, this is okay because it's not the same character, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, obviously, characters like Star-Lord are going to be fucked up because he has memories of the character that did die, but this is a different character, and I think they did that very well. Although, I don't know why, I think it maybe was just sort of not fan service, but like audience service to say she doesn't remember, because that's not really true. She doesn't not remember. She just
didn't
wasn't
do
that
it.
person.
Yeah.
She was,
but I don't remember because it didn't
it
happen.
wasn't me.
I haven't forgotten. It never happened for her.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's just
Which they mentioned it
Yeah.
times.
good, fine, fun fights. Nice way to kind of flip it and have her be the kind of outsider, not getting why they're all weird and lovey and chummy, that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she understands Groot at the end, she's like, "Ah,
Oh yeah, I did
Cute.
remember that. I was like, did she like? Is okay?
cute."
How much time has passed? Does she just sort of suddenly? Oh, I
She's
get it now.
close enough.
Mm.
And apparently that's, again, why we hear him say, "I love you guys," is because we as the
Oh,
audience
because we hear
have spent enough time with
hear
Groot.
it. Oh, I was like, why is he speaking English all of
Yeah,
a sudden?
it's
Why would he change?
We just understand because we spend so much time with these
Oh,
characters.
that's clever.
Which is
I never
cute.
understood.
So yeah, Gamora.
What does he say? We love you. I love you guys. We love
I think so.
Something
Something
like
like that.
So Gamora, good. Well done. I like it. Next character on the
Go.
list. If you're done, let's talk about this film's villain, the High Evolutionary.
Oh, I was going to go with Adam. But yes.
No, well, he's kind of a minor villain, but we'll definitely get to him. But I want to
Yeah.
go through the positives first.
Yeah, agreed. We're in the same track.
High Evolutionary. What do you know about him from the comics? I'd like to know.
He made Wanda and Pietro.
Right. Okay. I do remember seeing that somewhere.
So I found him a weird choice because as I've read him, again, I only read X-Men, sorry guys, he feels like a very earthbound villain. Like and he's not necessarily a villain, he's just kind of like, so he's more like a hyped up version of Mr. Sinister, where he like makes animals and that sort of stuff. Because he makes the Animen and like Bova the cow and all that kind of stuff. So the animal approach was relevant, but he's very much
mentioned as well.
Very much earthbound,
right? Okay,
rather than spacey.
Okay, and that's just comics.
As far as yeah, that's how I know him.
Sorry,
it's the High Evolutionary. Is like evolution is what he's obsessed with, and he's the one who made. Did he make Spider-Woman as well? I feel like he's connected to Spider-Woman, and as a Spider-Woman fan, I should know that more.
You can go search it and come back, or just have our.
No, it's fine. Like whatever. So he's very much Wondagore, European, evolving people, that sort of stuff. Having said that, fuck, I hated that character. It was so well played.
Oh, I see.
Like,
it's a good thing.
I hated him. I hated him. It's because I'm very soft on animals, and that really upsets me. So that was a very, again, we can talk about that more when we talk about Rocket, but that's a very clever approach because my God, I was emotional. Yeah. And I hated him.
You hated feeling emotions.
I hated him. And the spoilers, shoot him in the fucking head. They're like, oh no, I'm not going to kill him. It's like, he just blew up a planet. He is a genocidal psychopath. Shoot him in the head.
That was a weird
end.
Yeah. That was a weird decision not to kill him.
Just kill him.
Because I'm a guardian of the galaxy. No, what? That's bullshit.
Again, he walks off and someone else should have just done that.
Yeah.
Or like a rhino should have sat on him or something. Like, end him.
I wonder if the thing is like his ship blows up. So I wonder if they're like, he's left to die, quote unquote. So
having said that,
come back.
Having said that, he was played so brilliantly, and I hated him. Be good villains come back.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Fucking gross. The face pulling thing.
So gross.
So gross. He's so creepy, so arrogant, such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Brilliantly played. So
brilliantly played.
Maybe he's going to take the place of Kang because we may not be able to use Kang.
We don't know. Maybe Kevin Feige's like, hey, James, did you send those prints to the cinemas? Yeah, okay, put a stop on it.
Switch up them.
We can't shoot him. Let's make something up at the end. Make up a reason why he doesn't shoot him at the end.
Change that around. I thought he was. I hated him.
Forget Kang Dynasty. It's now the High Evolutionary Dynasty. It doesn't really roll off the tongue very well.
So it's Wondagore. What did you think?
Well, Wondagore Dynasty. Yeah, I think he was great. I think he was played really well. I think it's as far as like what we call the one-off villains go. Marvel has any sort of
a poor track record,
which is kind of par for the course in terms of superhero films anyway.
Because you know they're going to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why Thanos was so amazing.
Yeah, and the people
lose.
People talk about Thanos as like the best villain, and the second best is Loki because he's around still. Yeah. I mean, he may be more of like an anti-hero kind of thing now, but fine, whatever. And who's the third that people talk about? Yeah, there's like a
from Marvel
clear ranking. I think there's a third. Yeah,
Zemo, because he did it differently.
Because
he actually did.
Yeah.
Win.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, and he didn't just because somebody is defeated doesn't mean they have to die. But then it goes like
but his goal was to break up the Avengers, and he won. He did that.
Yeah,
so he succeeded. He got arrested or whatever. Anyway, yeah, you're right. The one-offs there.
But this one-off worked. His goal was clear. They wrote that in very well. When his whole ship is exploding, and he's like, "I need this one creature because it ties into my whole goal of being perfecting a society, whatever." As audiences were like, "Yeah, that's twisted, but I get it."
Yep. And also, it was an established kind of like a tyrant that's already been doing something bad. He is a threat, but he's not. Hey, I've not done anything. I'm gonna invade New York. He's like, he's been doing.
That's a good point.
He's done all of this to him. It's in this past, so the flashback kind of works. Like he's a horrible genocidal piece of shit. And he's done all this. They've established all of that. So the threat may not be as massive as someone like Thanos, but you can understand it's like. Ugh.
The threat isn't as massive as Thanos, but also he fucking destroyed a planet.
Yeah, his impact.
And it's like I thought that wasn't given enough gravitas.
Yeah,
it destroys us.
Well, he walks away. It's like you just killed 7 billion people.
Doesn't Nebula or somebody calls him like a genocidal maniac? Like, yeah, he destroyed the whole.
Literally,
we don't like. No one's like mourning these people. But
there's no one left. Yeah, I think
that weird Hispanic bat family.
Yeah,
it's like they're gone.
Bit of a hand wave. It's like. They're all dead. All these kids you saw blown up and died.
Yeah, like I get that there's no sort of... We don't want to see the gratuitous planet blowing up shot.
They did die.
But there's just a lot of explosions.
Yeah.
Conveniently not where Star-Lord was.
I know.
He picked up, but whatever. Hand wavy stuff. But yes, I thought it was good.
Very good. He could come back. I think he will come back. If there's a opportunity for him. Because he's a long-established villain.
Oh, that was my other question. Is like I've never heard of him until some Comic-Con where the actor comes out popping around with the cast and crew. Is he like a prominent villain?
It's just like a long-running one.
Right. Okay.
Again, I'm quite limited to just the X-Men stuff and Scarlet Witch and Spider-Woman because he's Wonder Girl based. So that's what those guys are.
Okay. Well, they're doing it different in the MCU anyway because Wonder Girl's been and gone now already. He had nothing to do with it. There's no bow over the cow. Wonder Girl's the mountain at the end of Doctor Strange.
Yes. I was like, I remember it coming up and I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in...
Destroyed, quote unquote.
In that universe, anyway.
In that universe.
Have you seen that Vanity Fair video of Lizzie Olsen talking about...
Are we calling her Lizzie now?
Lizzie, that's what she goes by. Lizzie Olsen.
I didn't know that yet.
Yeah, she goes by Lizzie.
I call her Ms. Olsen. Thank you very much.
Well, yes, Ms. Olsen. Thank you. Like reacting to her stuff, and like they have her reacting to a bit that she's in with her sisters. And there's the
wait, what? A bit she's in with her sisters?
Yeah, because she was like, she says that after school, instead of like going to nursery, you just go to set because everyone was there.
Oh, right, okay.
Because that's where her big sisters were. So you like just sit there, and she had a line or something in one of their films and that sort of thing.
Oh, right, okay.
She always has. She must have been talking about Multiverse of Madness, and she's like, oh, we did a similar thing on WandaVision, and I was like, have you guys seen that? Have you seen what we were doing over there? And of course they hadn't because we hadn't finished it yet. So it just went, I had to tackle it from a different point of view to keep it interesting. It's like all the work she did in WandaVision to then
right, because they finished filming it, but it wasn't like...
They could have given them the scripts.
I know.
Like, they could have emailed them the scripts and the guy could have read it and been like, oh, wow, what a fantastic finale.
They could have given Sam Raimi the Cliff Notes or something. the synopsis. Like, here's what happened.
Yeah, so
it's
clearly like a dig at like
what? Yeah, so she's aware,
This makes no sense, and you guys didn't even fucking try. But you know the way she does her little awkward laugh. Anyway, sorry.
Lizzie-O. We love Lizzie-O.
Lizzie. Yeah, because she could come back with High Evolutionary. They'd work well together. That kind of thing.
She's not dead. And she's got many older versions of herself as well.
Tons.
Yes, anything to add about the High
No,
Evolutionary?
I would like him to come back. He's got a kind of Red Skull kind of vibe.
Yes. What do you mean?
Well, first of all, no nose.
That was the only thing that I thought of when you were talking about
No, because he's a genocidal tyrant. So if you're going to have, when you go to wiping out people that you don't think are genetically, who you think are genetically inferior, I think Nazis. So very similar energies there.
It's been a while since I've seen that.
I mean, I feel like the Nazi vibe is still around.
Yeah,
kind of an obvious one. And the weird face thing, and the tyrantness, and the fact that he could be back.
He could be back. He's a little bit silly as well.
Quite camp.
Campy silly,
not camp, but the villainry of him.
Yeah.
Mustache twirly villainy.
Sure.
Pure.
It worked.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
And I think it makes us, especially in a Guardians film, it's like it works because we never, like, he's doing horrible things, but if he's like, I'm doing horrible things and also I have no humor, like that, then it's just awkward. But he's a bit sort of, he's over the top in his villainry. Like, he has to destroy his ship just to get at this one tiny creature.
Yeah.
It makes it work because he's a bit kooky.
Yeah.
All right, next on our list is my big gripe about this film.
Adam Warlock.
Let's talk about Adam Warlock.
It was pointless.
What's his point?
It was pointless.
He was... I don't know anything about his character from the comics. I don't know what he does.
It was made such a big deal. Like, there were rumors about how they're going to introduce Adam Warlock. And, oh my God, what's going to happen? Ooh, is he going to be here? And then the teaser at the end of Guardians 2, which must have been so fucking long ago.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's Warlock. It's Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock. At the same time, it's like, at the same time, does anyone give a shit about Adam Warlock? He wasn't, and he was very 70s. Like, he was involved in the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
One of them, I don't know. He has the Soul Stone in his forehead.
Yeah.
Which they stole for Vision and swapped it around to make the Mind Stone in his forehead. So that's fine. Does he have the quantum bands, the nega bands?
In the film?
He's in the comics, because then Captain Marvel has them. Anyway, I get confused with those guys. I'm sorry. But like, who really cares? And then here he is, and then who really cared?
Yeah. No,
not really.
I didn't. Sorry.
It's like, oh, he's the one who hurt Rocket in the first place. Like, yeah, that could have been the High Evolutionary. You didn't need to do him. He's funny. Like, I like the fact that he's English. Don't try and make him American because he's so English. Although he does a very good American accent, because I didn't realize he was English when I saw him in The Millers. Meet the Millers.
What? He's English, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
But in Meet the Millers,
haven't seen it.
Jason Sudeikis, Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, I know the one I'm seeing.
Yeah, he's the skinny little kid, and he's American. That's how I first saw him. And like, he's English?
No, I first saw him in Black Mirror, actually. That one.
He's also in that Dope Sick thing with Michael Keaton, which is very good, but I've only seen like 2 episodes.
I haven't seen it.
It's a.
He's meant to. Okay.
But anyway, I'm glad they made him English, so it was like, he could be a bit silly. He was a bit silly.
Yeah.
And he had a cute little pet. And he is hot when he takes his top off, and he kind of took his top off sort of towards the end, because that also means that we didn't have to have Chris Pratt topless.
Okay.
If you give us, I guess it's in Marvel contract that you had to have one topless man.
Which I'm fully behind.
Yes. So that was fine, and that's fine, and that's fine, and it's fine. It didn't go anywhere. It was you didn't need to do that.
It didn't go anywhere.
No.
I was a bit annoyed at his character because he's meant to be like the perfect being, isn't he?
He's kind of stupid and useless.
He's stupid and useless. And like the one line that she says, the mother, who I didn't realize is Elizabeth
Diana.
Debicki. She plays Diana in The Crown.
She sure does.
Yes. So she's like, oh, but you took him out of his cocoon too early.
Oh,
like, big
yeah.
deal. He's like,
say that.
He's a child. He's a bit goofy. I didn't like. It would have been funnier if he was like this. Okay, not saying that the perfect human is going to be this tall butch man, but if he's like this really sort of jawline that could cut you kind of look, and like this like a dumb jock kind of thing, and was like still childish. And
you don't think it was hot enough?
No, I don't think it was. The bottom line is, I don't think he's hot. I don't think
I kind of do, mainly because he transformed from this like chinless, scrawny little thing to this giant, quiffed thing,
well, I mean,
which has blown everyone's minds.
The quiff is blowing everyone's
No,
mind?
just like his put togetherness from this like.
Fine. I mean,
before and after.
With
but
his top
that's
off,
just what
he's hotter than me for sure.
That's just what Marvel does. Is just like gives them a trainer 9 months and then probably a load of,
motivation.
Yeah.
I mean, the actor's young, right? He's younger than Chris Pratt. He's younger than Dave Bautista. It's like you can do that with him. Like,
yeah.
Fine.
Well,
but then I didn't get the point of his character.
Yeah, it feels like, again, they were like, trying to do like the curse of any kind of big Marvel film, trying to do too much. It's like, and we'll introduce Adam Warlock. It's like, you didn't need to. Like, no one was paying attention. We ran out of time to do anything interesting with him.
He doesn't have the amount that we talk about other characters and how they develop. What does he develop? Like he's new. There's no sort of distinguishing features about him.
And if this was a different point in the franchise or whatever, the way that Mantis was introduced in the second one, she was quite one-dimensional and quite there for just the jokes and specific power set. He could have been the same. But because we know it's the end and like it's not interesting enough or powerful enough to spin him off. Like I saw an article, it's like getting ready for this Adam Warlock spin-off. It's like, no, it's not.
No.
It's not going to. That's not. No.
I mean, Marvel has done that before.
But we didn't have enough time to give a shit about him.
Right.
You need to build him up more. And there's not going to be another Guardians film. So where's he going to show up that we give a shit about him? Is he an Avenger now? Is he going to show up in Avengers? Is he going to show up in Marvels?
Avenger? Why would it be an Avenger?
Just to give him some more screen time.
Oh, because he is in the comics.
I don't know. But, like if you wanted to turn him into an interesting character, you need to use him again. And I don't know where they're going to use him again.
I mean, I just don't get what his motivation was. Like he's doing his things for his mother, as being a brat, but saying, "You can't tell me what to do, mother. I'm keeping this little furry creature." Like, fine. And then mother dies. Oh no! But like none of that comes through. We care about none of that. He has a pet. Great, fine. He's a bit jokey. Okay, but I don't really know enough about him to care about that in that way.
There wasn't time or whatever.
Yeah, it's right. It's the right response.
Kind of.
I don't care.
Well, there was such a big fucking whoop hype about who's going to be Adam, in the nerd world. Like, oh my god, when are they introducing Adam Warlock? It's like, did we care about Adam Warlock?
No.
In the first place?
No.
And then like, oh my god, it's this guy. I'm like, oh my god, he looks huge and buff. How did they do that? I can't recognize him. And then he doesn't really do anything. You're like, oh, well,
he kind of shows up. He kind of shows up to fuck around with the plot a little bit, and that's about it.
I mean, he starts it and ends it. So like, he's the one who
starts the instigating.
Yeah, nearly kills Rocket. It starts the whole thing, and then saves Peter. So kind of bookends that.
There's that one moment where like he goes out and saves Peter. Okay, fine. I forgot about that part actually. When he saves Peter,
but that doesn't feel like that. The journey, because like he's still evil up until the point where they save him. Is why'd you do that? It's like everyone just has a second chance. Okay, I'll save you. Now I'm a guardian.
It's a bit like it's a bit like don't be a dick then. Like okay, I'll change.
I'll change myself. I know, and that's just because they tried to do too much.
Yeah,
and they wanted to introduce a new character, but they wanted to do all the other good stuff too. So
the payoff wasn't earned.
No.
Yeah, I get it, but the thing is, in the scope of everything, like if that's the worst part of this movie, it's still.
I think it probably was the worst part, just because it could have been a lot more.
Yeah. Anything else to say about Adam the Warlock?
No, I'm trying to find a before and after picture of him.
Of him? Yeah, go for it. Because I think that before we talk about the main character of this film, we both want to talk about, let's discuss briefly a couple of the minor characters.
Go.
Groot?
Mm-hmm.
Anything about him?
No.
No? Does he have a journey? We mentioned him already, I suppose.
It's a tree.
He's a tree. We can all speak his language now.
Yeah.
Still Vin Diesel, I suppose. Okay, so Groot, yeah, fine. Kraglin, the guy with the arrow that whistles around, he's kind of gross a little bit. Cosmo the dog.
Oh, I love her. I love her. I got a bit emotional when she was telekinetically holding stuff together.
Yeah.
I was like, no, don't hurt. You'll be all right. It's okay.
Yeah. Why didn't she just telekinesis Quill back into the ship then?
I feel like she tried. I feel like that was referenced, right?
Nope.
Or she'd passed out by then because she was holding a ship together.
I thought she should have, like, if it was clear that she had fainted because she was holding the two ships together, then, like, okay, fine, she's not available to help Peter. But the only other people who tried to help Peter was Groot with his little...
Yeah. I feel that would have been referenced because otherwise I would have thought that too.
Yeah.
I think that either she passed out.
Yeah.
So that's why she can't do it.
I mean,
she's passed out. Jean
it.
Grey's out.
Maybe I could have missed it, I suppose.
That
would have made the most sense.
And they had to like knock her out because she was working very hard.
Yeah. She's a good dog.
I love her. She's a good dog. I don't know if the voice was cute enough though. It just sounded like a woman doing a Russian accent, not like a dog.
I think the actress is Russian.
That's cute, but also it doesn't sound like a dog. You know, like Doug from Up sounds like a dog voice.
Right.
This just sounds like a Russian woman speaking.
Yeah. Do not call me bad dog.
Maybe it's because Russian's not traditionally seen as cute. Doggy.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, when she oh god, yes, I'm a big softie for animals, and when she was like struggling, I'm like, no Cosmo.
Yeah.
Oh.
You are strong, and then Mantis goes, you are strong. But
I love that shit. I love shit like that. Oh.
Because when Peter does make it onto the ship, she's there like bouncing around in the big group hug kind of thing.
Oh well.
Anyway, I don't really know when was she introduced. She was like mentioned in one of the
probably in the Christmas one, right?
Nah, I think she has a big part. I think did I miss something that she was in? She was in the Christmas special, and I was like, yeah, whatever. She's a dog that lives there. I don't know much about her, but she's like because Cosmo in the comics is definitely a part of a Guardian of the Galaxy.
Cool. Yeah.
So I've heard. How do I know this about comics and you don't? You're just like whatever. Yeah, okay. Cosmo's fine. Big, small character.
Cute.
Do we want to talk about Sylvester Stallone showing up again as this Ravager? Like he was there, and like his other sort of Ravagers being another old Guardians, but we didn't have Michelle Yeoh again.
Or Miley Cyrus.
That wasn't her. It didn't sound like her.
Apparently, it was a different one, but I think it was Michael Rosenbaum was the other one. Yeah.
Don't remember that. Oh, the crystal face person.
Yeah. Okay, but whatever. Apparently. Yeah, so apparently James Gunn just has a reputation for just always hiring the same people because his wife was in it again and she's in Peacemaker. And everyone's like, oh, your wife. It's like, yeah, but Nathan Fillion's in it again.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Who's in everything he does. Because A, he's his best mate or whatever. And B, it's Nathan Fillion, who I
love him.
Fucking love. Because on one hand, I'm like, years ago, he was rumored to be cast as Wonder Man, which I would have loved.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect. He's not, because A, it's been too long. He's been in it, and someone else has been cast as him. Wonder Man. Whatever. We'll get into that another time.
Okay.
So I'm sad that you can't now use Nathan Fillion for a proper character.
Yeah.
Because you used him so many times and that sort of stuff.
Was he in the MCU before?
He was the shark in the first Guardians, apparently. As voice, I mean, obviously.
Right, okay.
But, and that was too very obvious in this one. So they can't use him.
No.
Which is a shame, because I love him.
Yeah.
But
he's great.
I do.
Okay, the last big character we're going to talk about is Lila, the otter.
Was Linda Cardellini?
Yes.
I saw her name. I was like, how the fuck is Hawkeye's wife in this? What the fuck is Hawkeye's wife doing in this? Yeah. How on earth does that connect it? Because she's a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. Is it because she was in S.H.I.E.L.D. and now she's in Sword in space? Ages that? No, she was the voice of the otter.
She was the voice?
Like, oh.
Yeah.
I wish someone had said that before.
They just brought her back for like, can you do the voice?
Sure. Yeah, why not? I love Linda Cardellini, so good. Give her extra work.
I didn't know what they were going to do, because obviously she shows up in one of the trailers hugging Rocket.
Does she? I didn't see him. I don't think
it's a brief moment. She's like, oh, Rocket's hugging another creature who's like him. Like, okay, great. There's like a familial bond here. I don't remember. want to say that she doesn't have like robot arms in the trailer, so must have edited that or CGI'd it differently.
Maybe because that makes it too
obvious. Yeah. But she is very different than what I expected that role was going to be.
I didn't know that was going to be anything, but my God, those scenes. Oh, you knew it was coming straight away. The second they started playing, I was told my straight friends like, they're all going to die.
Nah, I didn't.
Of course, it's a flashback, and he's happy. It's his origin story.
Yes, I get it, and this is why she's the last bit part. So we talk about Rocket at the end. But I want to just say, like, I felt like they were building it up to like he could escape, and they were still alive, and that the hugging scene was them sort of reuniting.
He left them behind and abandoned them, and that's what his guilt was. That sort of stuff.
I don't know.
No, it was very obvious that's what was going to happen. I was just like gripping the seat. It's like, just do it, and the bang, and like, fucking asshole.
Yeah. I mean, that plays really well for Rocket's character as well.
It was so normally his origin. Like, yes, they've alluded to it before. I never really cared. Like, whatever, that's fine.
It's alluded to in the first Guardians film.
Yeah, that's his whole point. Is what horrible things were done. You're kind of like hand wave. You're like, yeah, it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
My God. And again, I think it's because I'm a softie, because it's animals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it's humans, I struggle to give a shit.
Yeah.
But you're hurting animals. I was
like, how very dare you?
Enraged. I was so emotional through all of those scenes when he first spoke and said, "Oh, we're on Rocket now."
Mm-hmm. Yes, so that was a segue. Yeah,
I love her, and she was brilliant, and all of those characters
a mother
just
figure in a way,
destroyed me emotionally in a good way. When he first spoke and said "hurts," and I'm like, "Oh my God, no!"
Yes, it was done really, really well, and I think
just wonderfully. And I hope it also kind of, because now they have to put warnings on it for animal cruelties, like a trigger warning, which I think is fair enough if you're not ready for it or whatever, or if you take your young kid to it, whatever. But that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of showing you, like, this happens all the time when you're like, oh, I don't care about getting a product that's cruelty free, or oh, I don't give a shit if my stuff is tested on animals, not like.
Yeah.
Maybe you do now.
Yeah. After watching this film, you're like, oh,
it's
not explicit, but I definitely think like, oh, this is like, we already do
this is very, very human. This is our society just made crazy because they can talk, and this bunny rabbit has, like, oh my God, it's horrifying and horrible, and not at all what you would expect for the emotional heart of a spacefaring ragtag team to be a flashback of animal cruelty. But fucking hell,
and how
brilliant. And perfect, fits in perfectly with the whole thing. What do you think about the whole using a flashback kind of stuff?
So the whole flashback thing, I guess it works. I can't think of why it wouldn't work. Because obviously the whole instigating, talking about like storylines here, the story of the film, the instigating factors basically takes Rocket out of the equation. So to have him part of the story, and in a way, like as you die, they say your life flashes before your eyes. So you're kind of remembering his story, and it's like,
it's a bit of a trope, though.
Yeah, it is. I'm not. I mean, I don't really know why I wouldn't go with it. I think it worked.
I think just sometimes I feel like it's a little bit of a trope. So
yeah,
kind of
like
a bit. But
it's like we've alluded to the story for 3 films now. Let's have the story now. Here it is.
But it was great, and the fact that it tied up. Yeah,
and it tied up. Oh yeah, with it, like. Yeah,
the high evolutionary in the face.
And nice.
When he did that, I was like, just fucking kill him, just fucking rip out, fucking hate this guy, just fucking kill him.
And I think it worked because like
which is good to get an emotional reaction like that. It's like, make me fucking hate the bad guy.
Good job. Well, that's good then. That's good.
It was very good, and I wonder if they did that so that they didn't have to use Bradley Cooper as much, or pay him as much.
They definitely used him in the flashbacks though. Like
that's not for a long time. Because that wasn't him as a baby, was it?
I mean, they used Vin Diesel's Groot voice as a baby.
I'll never understand the decision to pay him that much money to do that, but whatever. But yeah, no, that baby voice wasn't him. It was a kid voice.
They could put, but like Baby Groot's voice is still Vin Diesel manipulated. They could have used him.
I don't know. Yeah, but it's supposed to sound like Vin Diesel as a baby, Whereas this one's supposed to be more innocent and sweet, which Bradley Cooper's voice isn't.
I don't remember. I can't. I don't
Who knows?
But his sort of Bradley Cooper sort of East Coast sort of accent comes out when Rocket the teenager is talking about, connect the wires here because the filter has gone wrong, blah blah blah. Like you can hear the Bradley Cooper voice, which I think good for him, because I don't think Bradley Cooper when I think about this Rocket voice, so works in a way.
Split between Bradley, adolescent Rocket, Sean Gunn as young Rocket, and Noah Raskin as baby Rocket.
Oh, okay.
Which is also cute because Sean Gunn was the motion capture for Rocket.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did it in this one because he was actually in the film.
Yeah.
But the others, he was always...
The credits went by really quickly. I didn't catch it.
Oh, I didn't. I also didn't look.
Sean Gunn is Franklin.
Yeah. So that's who all the actors know as Rocket is Sean, not Bradley, because obviously they never worked with that.
Yeah.
So I think that's
fair enough.
That's cute that they used his voice as well, because he's...
Hey, what was it like working with Bradley Cooper? Like, I don't fucking know. I never did.
I mean, that's again, not to go back to Lizzie, that's what she would said about John Krasinski. She's like, never met him. It's like, you're in a film with him. It's like, never met him.
That makes a lot of sense.
Like, of course they didn't. It wasn't filmed together.
We were on the same set, yeah.
No.
Everything is CGI nowadays.
They didn't even get close to each other. Anyway.
A lot of CGI in this film. Obviously, you have got characters that
are when they were in the squidgy stuff, you could just kind of like, oh my God, it must have been a weird kind of acting, because there's just nothing there.
When they're in the squidgy,
like when they go in the squidgy stuff and they're like bouncing on the flesh and everything that, you're like, oh my God, everything is just a green or blue screen. Like, how...
Yeah, but so is Ant-Man. But I think this film...
all of it. I mean,
it. The reason I bring it up is because like there's a lot of CGI, and I was just aware of like these characters were CGI. It didn't pop out to me that it was fake in the same way like moments in Ant-Man did. It's basically just Ant-Man. Everything's cartoons nowadays.
Yeah. We're not gonna need human actors anymore.
Oh my God! Please, let's not get to that point yet. I'm not been in a film yet. I need to just wait for it. Just use my likeness and pay me for it. We can sit around and watch cartoons all day and comment on them for our podcast.
Yay!
This is our goal.
I think those are all my thoughts.
Yeah. I think that it was mostly good. And I'm happy that it exists, I suppose. And I'm happy to put these characters mostly to rest now.
Yeah, me too.
You know, like, I don't need to see any more Cracklin in a film.
I don't need to see Adam Warlock.
I mean, Rock and Groot, they can be fine as well.
I don't need to see them again either. No. Like, they were such a big part of Infinity War, and, you know, obviously Rocket was all through Endgame, so he's had plenty of screen time. Let's wrap this up and move on.
Yeah.
Was it the best post-Endgame MCU film?
Was it the best post-Endgame MCU film? Ooh, maybe? What else compares to it?
No Way Home.
See, No Way Home. Looking back on No Way Home, I feel like that's a bit sticky as well. Where we're drawing on these other characters who we don't have a connection to, but within this story, but we're supposed to because we as audience members know that they exist in other films. But the thing is, like, I never watched Jamie Foxx as Electro. I never watched that film. Like, I don't care. The Lizard, the first Andrew Garfield, I'm like, fine, whatever. And it was more of a fun romp as look at this, what we can do now with the multiverse. Like, isn't it fun? We can bring Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire back as Spider-Man, but I didn't actually care that much. Like, the story was great. I watched it. It was fine. I don't have much of a sort of thing about No Way Home as some people maybe do.
I loved it. Definitely better than this.
Yeah.
But I think since then, now the multiverse is too much of a thing.
Yeah. So if you watch No Way Home now, would you still feel the same way about it?
No, but that's because it's the first one that did it.
Yeah. Okay.
Was that before Loki? Yeah.
For a Loki TV show.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. No?
I want to say no, but I couldn't say. I don't know, man. Yeah.
It was a Christmas one.
Because Loki
And then Wanda was January. And then Loki was after that.
Because obviously Loki was meant to be the first one, but it wasn't. Wanda was only the first TV show.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier was supposed to be the first one.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Loki never mentions... I don't know if... Because Loki's not about the multiverse. Loki is about...
It's absolutely about them. Yeah, but it's absolutely about the multiverse.
Let me rephrase that.
Loki was first.
Was it? Yeah. I was right.
You were right.
Loki was first. But Loki wasn't sort of... It wasn't about the concept... I don't know how to say this. It was about variants and alternate multiverses. Oh, I know what it was, because at the very end... What were we looking at? At the very end, the last episode of Loki, that's when they mentioned the multiverse. And it opened up to the idea of like branching universes, whatever. And then that was further explored in No Way Home. That's what it was.
Far From Home was just after Endgame. That's what I'm getting confused. Yes. That's why I get confused, because that blows my mind that we had Endgame and then Peter goes on a road trip. It was such a random, like...
Yeah.
Like, after Infinity War, we had Ant-Man 2. It's like, poor Ant-Man, he can't catch a break. No. It's such a like, we're going to Italy. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Anyway. So you think this is better than... It's the best one since Endgame. Best film since Endgame.
I mean, I did like...
Better than Thor.
I did like Home... Wait, which one was it?
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Multiverse of Madness.
No.
Love and Thunder.
Eternals.
Quantumania.
Eternals. Which I think...
Shang-Chi.
Oh, Shang-Chi was very good as well.
I did love Shang-Chi.
That might be my favorite one so far. That could also just because I really enjoy Kung Fu films.
Fucking hell, it's amazing. Yeah, lots of people are like, it's the best film ever. I'm like, it was a good film. Yes.
It was a good film.
Good film.
Well done. Bye, James Gunn.
Good film. Bye.
What's next?
Best of luck. Films? Marvels.
The Marvels film is next, and is that before after Secret Invasion? November! It's not even summer yet. Do we not have a summer one?
I don't think so. No, they're reducing the amount they do each year because everyone's like, you're doing these too quick and they're bad.
Yeah, give your digital people
give them money and give them time to do this. I can't keep having the She-Hulk fight in the films. Give them money and give them time. You need to stop. So I think they produced it. I apologize. I don't think there's another one.
So Secret Invasion. I think maybe Loki.
Oh yeah, Secret Invasion is next month, isn't it?
Is Loki
July?
season 2 coming out in the end of summer maybe? Because I feel like that's imminent.
No, well, I think Secret Invasion is out first.
That's next. That's next.
Oh, I don't have a release date for Loki. Fall. Generic fall. Blech.
That's for Loki.
Yeah.
So probably before Marvels, but that's okay.
Yeah, probably.
We've got stuff to do. We've got stuff to catch up on. If you enjoyed listening to us rant about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, if you have anything else to add that we may have missed or something that we got wrong, let us know. Be nice in your comments, but you can email us.
Email us nice things.
Nice things, yeah. incompletegeekspodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. We'll also love to hear from you about things you want us to talk about in the future. If there's any topics that we haven't covered, let us know. Or if you have any comments, we might read them on air. You never know.
Any geeky things you think need a gay spin? Yeah. That is our wheelhouse, and we'll do our best to accommodate that.
We have a lot of... our circles cross for a little bit. We have our own circles, and there's probably circles that we don't have any experience in. So let us know.
I thought you were going to do the end because that was a perfect line. That was a perfect line at the end. So some shit about circles. I'm like, always doing something different.
But you were watching me like you were like expecting me to
say something. No, go for it. Go. Take it home, John. Do the circles thing again. Always ready to do it.
No, because I don't want to mention the Instagram or anything. Like, follow us on Instagram and TikTok. We post stuff once in a while.
At Incomplete Geeks.
Yeah, there you go.
Go on. Something about circles?
Something about circles.
We go around in different circles?
We can go around in circles for sure. Because there's stuff that we don't know about. And if you want to let us know, please get in touch some way. We're just fans. We love talking about the kind of stuff, but we do get stuff wrong. We miss things on occasion because we're not complete geeks.
But we are working on it.
But thanks for listening.
Bye-bye. I mean, if people just want to leave this streaming in the background, that's also fine.
That's also fine, yeah.
Please just stream it. That's fine. We don't mind.
Play it.
Play it.
And then when
wherever
you're done,
you want.
play it again.
Play it again.